Hi there, this is our weekly help video for week 8 of Spanish 101 Fall 2017 semester. And today I want to talk about a couple of things. First, I want to talk about the test for next week, the proctored exam. And then I want to talk about one of my Spanish lab activities that seems to be a little more problematic than the others this week. I looked through and picked the one with the lowest average grade. And so we're going to talk about that. So first, let's talk about the proctored exam. And next week is our only proctored chapter test for the semester. Your final exam will also be proctored, and that's part of the reason that I schedule the Chapter 3 exam as a proctored exam, is so that you have an experience with taking a test at the testing center before the final exam, so that you get familiar with the process and with how it all works. So the test itself will be really similar to the previous chapter test that you've taken. There will not be any audio questions on it, so that you don't have to hassle with headphones while you're at the testing center. But other than that, it'll be really similar. You can review the quizzes that you've taken so far in Chapter 3. That's a good way to prepare for it. And then just look back at the formatting for the other tests to know what to expect. So the biggest difference is that you need to schedule a time at one of the testing centers. So here's the testing center page on the CWI website. And let's see here. There's information here. Here's the link that you need to click to schedule your test. They recommend 12 hours in advance. I would recommend that if you have a really limited schedule, that you schedule it further in advance than that. It's all there and ready to schedule right now, so you could schedule it now, and that way it's done and you have your time reserved and don't have to worry about those times filling up. So here on this page, and this information is also in Blackboard, but here are the times that the testing centers are open. There's one in Ada and there's one in Nampa at the Micron Center. So review those times, figure out what time is going to work best for you with your other scheduling, and get a time reserved as soon as you can. Now in my Spanish lab, when you go to take the test, it's due the 23rd. So because of the testing centers not being open on Sundays, I give you an extra day. So it's actually due on Monday. So if you click on Monday, October 23rd, it'll pull up, that'll be the only assignment that's due that day. So you can pull that up and it'll ask for a password. So the proctors have that password. If you are not close enough to take it at one of the CWI testing centers, contact me and find a local. It's up to you to find a place to take the test, usually a local college or university, or if you don't have one near you, sometimes a public library or even a high school will have someone that can proctor that for you. And then you'll need to get me the contact information for that person so that I can send them the instructions. So I think that's pretty much it for the proctored exam. Let me know if you have any questions. Oh, one other thing I wanted to say is what you're allowed to take with you. So it's a closed book test, but you are allowed to take a single 3x5 card of handwritten notes. So I would recommend that you jot down especially some of the verb conjugations. So just make a little chart for yourself in one corner of your index card with at least the endings or a sample conjugated verb for AR, ER, and IR verbs, just to remind you if you don't feel like you have those completely memorized. And then anything else from Chapter 3 that you think would be helpful to have there. I think that pretty much covers it. Let me know if you have any questions about the tests. And then let's look at activity 336, which seemed to be giving people some trouble. And we'll walk through this quickly. Okay, sorry, I had a little trouble with getting this to open because I'm on a different computer than my own, and so pop-ups were blocked. So here we go. It's not very big, but hopefully you'll be able to see well enough what I'm doing. So the instructions say to rewrite the following sentences about Berta and her friends to indicate that the actions will take place tomorrow instead of today. Use an appropriate form of ir plus a plus the infinitive, and be sure to follow the sentence structure of the model exactly. So this is a way that we can use kind of a new verb tense without learning a new conjugation. We're using the verb ir, which you've learned how to conjugate, voy, vas, va, vamos, vais, van. And we're using it to talk about future actions. So talking about what you are going to do. There is a true future tense in Spanish, but you won't learn that until later, and it's not really, a lot of times it's not as commonly used as this construction. So let's see. The modelo gives us the sentence, Elisa practica su inglés hoy. So we have the simple present tense, practica. And then in the revised sentence, we're going to conjugate. And here we had practica, practicar, conjugated for Elisa. And here we're going to conjugate the verb ir for Elisa. So Elisa va a practicar su inglés mañana. Now notice, after we conjugated ir to va, we did not conjugate practicar to practica. Because we don't want to say Elisa is practicing, or Elisa goes and practices. We want to say Elisa is going to practice. So we want to use the infinitive form. The infinitive, remember, is the unconjugated AR, ER, or IR form of the verb. So whatever the action verb is, we want to use the infinitive of that verb in this sentence. All right, so here we have the sentence, Yo hago ejercicio hoy. So now if we want to rewrite that to be, to talk about what someone is going to do, or what I'm going to do tomorrow, I'm going to still use the subject yo, conjugate ir for yo, which is voy, use the preposition a, and then instead of hago, I'm going to use the infinitive of that verb, hacer. And the rest of the sentence is the same. And then instead of hoy, I'm going to use mañana. Yo voy a hacer ejercicio mañana. Okay, just copying mañana so that I can easily paste it into my future sentences. Elisa prepara pasta hoy. So our simple present tense verb is prepara. So we still use Elisa as our subject. Conjugate ir for third person singular, va, a. Now the infinitive of this verb is preparar. Pasta mañana. Oh, I didn't paste. Bummer. All right. Va a preparar pasta mañana. Okay, so that's our new sentence. So our subject is staying the same. The rest of the sentence is staying the same. We're changing the simple present tense verb to this ir a construction. And then we're changing hoy to mañana. Don't forget about the ñe on your mañana, or else it will not be counted completely correct. Okay, here again, we leave our subject the same, Marta y Luisa. We have trabajan. We're going to change that to van, conjugated for ellas. Van a trabajar, the infinitive of that verb, en la cafetería. Don't forget about the accented I here. Cafetería. Mañana. Bien. Here our subject is nosotras. We're going to leave that the same. Nosotras. The verb asistimos becomes vamos, the nosotras form of ir. Vamos a asistir a clase, and change hoy to mañana. Bien. Here we're going to change hoy will become mañana. Hablo is going to become voy a hablar. Okay, yo voy, conjugated for yo, a hablar, the infinitive of that verb, con mi profesor mañana. Bien. Now our last one is a question. So here what we're going to do is, again, we're going to keep the same word order. Everything's going to stay the same except for the verb phrase and hoy. Okay, so here we need to conjugate ir for the subject tú. So it's vas a, the infinitive of that action verb, estudiar. Tú, don't forget about the accented u. Con nosotras mañana. Bien, so it's just repeating that same pattern over and over. and following the modelo really closely. So hopefully that makes sense. This is how we talk about plans, upcoming plans in Spanish, using all the verbs that you already know. So I hope that was helpful. If you already used up all your 5 attempts on this and you'd like to give it another try after seeing my explanation, shoot me an email and I will clear 1 or 2 of those attempts so that you can try to improve your grade on that. And I hope this was helpful, and I will see you all online.